What's up, everyone? How we doing today? It's good to see you. I am King Boomer. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be getting into some Top Gear. I had a request from, I can't remember who, but I remember responding to it. It's Top Gear Complaints and Offended People compilation. Now, I've had comments in the past that said I shouldn't react to Top Gear compilations because things can be taken out of context. But because it's complaints and offended people, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll get the gist of it in short clips. So, who knows? We'll see how it goes. And who doesn't love seeing complaints and offended people? Lord knows I get enough on the channel now. So Top Gear Complaints and Offended People compilation. Let's see what this is all about. Here we go.
Now, we get loads of letters on this show, very angry ones, from people who say that we don't do enough affordable cars, you know, family cars. One particularly angry caller last week rang the BBC duty log saying we were a disgrace. Well, Miss Needham, check this out. That is the new Vauxhall Corsa. And moving on now. We've had a number of complaints about last week's show. People said it was cruel to blow up a cow. Well, I want to make it absolutely plain. Right now, no cow was hurt in the making of that film. Its death was instantaneous.
Yeah. Immediate, wouldn't it know?
Right, next.
Right, next. I like. He just takes, like, 20 seconds to comment on a complaint, and he's like, right, moving on. Let's go. I like that.
I want to write to the BBC and say this is some rare type of tree and has to be preserved. You can stick it up your arse.
Oh.
Nah. All those people who write in and say, you're only interested in expensive cars, you're damn right. The new Lamborghini Diamond. This has got a V10 5-litre... I'm going to have to go to the lavatory if I have to say V10 5-litre engine again. I took a Ferrari to this road, okay, and I said that even though this was just 40 miles from London, in Hertfordshire.
Really? That's beautiful. Yet another reason why I gotta make it over to the UK. I mean, if I saw this picture and had to guess where it was, I would say Scotland. But 40 miles from London, it's definitely not Scotland. So, but it's very beautiful.
There was no traffic at all, and you could still enjoy it in the Ferrari that I was using. Well, we have been inundated with complaints, and I do mean inundated.
No, there've been a lot.
A lot, and people were absolutely furious. How dare the BBC say this is Hertfordshire? It plainly isn't. Well, you're right. I admit it, and I apologise. That is not Hertfordshire. It's Buckinghamshire, actually.
Nevertheless, well spotted, all of you, for seeing that. You were on the ball there.
Hey, I'm sure a lot of you saw
maybe I got that wrong. I don't know.
Patagonia special, and I want to admit here and now, in front of everybody, I made a terrible, terrible mistake. Nobody knows I'm going to do this, not the producers, nobody. But I want to get it off my chest now. Right in the middle of the programme, I said that the condor is the largest flying bird in the world. It isn't. It's the wandering albatross, and I'm deeply, deeply sorry.
Oh, well done for getting that off your chest. Well, you feel better? It's nice to have it out in the open.
So these are basically, you can stick it if
now,
you didn't like what we did.
We had a number of people after last week's show got in touch to complain.
They did.
We had, well, I said something about a Muslim, okay? 2 complaints. Remember Jesus came last week? I talked to him. 3 complaints. We were slightly rude about caravans.
Yeah, we sort of set one on fire a bit.
150 complaints.
Seriously.
150, and lots of people are now demanding an apology.
They are. So, we really are sorry, and we promise that we will, all 3 of us, never ever go caravanning again.
No. I'm sorry we didn't burn more caravans.
You're right, so am I. Yeah, that's true.
Right. There's the, we accidentally...
I like it. This is very anti-today. And that's... Even though it's not, hysterically funny or anything, I like it because it's very anti-today, apologizing for everything. I mean, sometimes an apology is in order, but not for everything.
Accidentally lit pipes last week.
A bit.
a hysterical woman who runs some hysterical organisation. She's got thin lips, the sort who take their own lunch to work. You know the sort? She got in touch and she pointed out, having demanded an apology from the BBC, she pointed out that you can't smoke anything now in the studio. Anything. It doesn't matter if it's herbal, it doesn't matter if it's tobacco, you're not allowed to, which means it is now illegal to inhale the Mayor of London if he's on fire.
Oh, that's blown it.
Now, as you know, we get quite a few...
I didn't quite get that one. Somebody let me know.
And a lot of them are from communists and hippies, obviously, so we just ignore them. Anyway, look. Last week, okay, we thought nobody would be watching because that epic tennis match was on, which...
We were all watching.
Which we were watching, yeah. Anyway, it turns out that one person was watching Top Gear, and boy, is he an eagle-eyed chap.
Eagle-eyed chap isn't what you called him when his letter arrived, mate.
No, I called him something smaller and fruitier than that. Nevertheless, he says, okay, he was watching the show and I was driving an Alfa Romeo along the road, and he says, and he hasn't just complained to the BBC, he's complained to the police about this, that I clipped a double white line. Well, here's the footage.
I mean, it's...
That bloke should have been at Wimbledon, actually, with those sort of crossing the white line spotting skills.
That's great.
Anyway, it does appear I'm bang to rights, and, you know, I think apologies where apologies are necessary. I'm very sorry. I shouldn't have done it. I'm normally very fastidious about that sort of thing, but there we are, a mistake. Good job I'm not a brain surgeon. What is interesting, however, is that the number of people who rang up and complained about me driving the Land Rover Discovery up a mountain is this long.
That's a lot.
That's how many people complained. The number of people who complained about us not wearing poppies?
That's none.
Not one.
Right.
So hang on, that means nobody bothered to complain that we haven't commemorated our fallen soldiers, the people who gave us freedom to do what we want, but then they write in to complain that you've, what, run over some moss?
Yeah,
or
that's basically it.
I've
killed moss.
It's a strange world we live in, isn't it? Really?
Weirdest world in the world. In fact, I think I might drive up it again next week. Right, new now.
Yeah, I'm really liking this. This is it's basically like, you know, the moaners and complainers that and you've seen some of the reasons are just, some of them are just absolutely ridiculous, like, you know, barely clipping that double line. So they're basically like throwing it back to them and be like, you know, look how ridiculous you are. Which, if for some of you who have followed my channel for a while now, sometimes I do that. And I tend to think it's necessary. Because if you don't tell someone that something's ridiculous, then they're just going to keep doing ridiculous crap. But anyway, let's continue.
The time has come, I fear. Lots of complaints after last week's programme. Internet kind of awash with hate, people demanding an apology, and I'm only too happy to give one. I am very sorry that I didn't put the GT2's time on the board. Really, I don't know what to say. Actually, I want to, while we're on the subject of this, last week James did talk about touching people inappropriately, okay? And the Daily Star, in an editorial, says that we've upset the Scouts and the Catholic Church, and they say that we can add those two august organisations to other people we've offended, including lorry drivers, Scots, Malaysians, Germans, blind people, anti-hunt protesters and smokers. And I'm sorry, but this sort of gutter-press claptrap gets just so far up my nose. How dare they? How dare they suggest that we would be rude to smokers? And first of all, last week we featured a motorcycle, a BMW, if I'm not mistaken, a BMW in your Ariel Atom film, and we've had a number of complaints that we didn't give enough information about it. So, James, would you like to address that?
Yes, indeed, bikers. It has a cable-operated anti-hopping clutch.
Lovely, thank you very much. If you are a German and you have any complaints about the film you've just seen, though, do please feel free to write to us. Our address is 1966, El Alamein Square, 1939 to 1945, Jutland Street, London, WE1. Again. Fine,
oh, God!
This has enraged the Morris Marina Owners Club.
The what?
Morris Marina Owners Club. Ever heard of an organisation you want to be a member of less than that?
I agree.
What I've got here are some of the things they've been saying on the Morris Marina Owners Club website. Top Gear can eat and die.
Strong.
Clarkson and his cronies should be hung, drawn and quartered, or is that too good for them? Should be 2 T-double-O, just small one. This just goes on and on. This is one of my favourites. I will send the BBC an email and I don't care if they don't read it.
Well, they did.
Well, you
They
have.
really are very, very angry, aren't they?
Can I just say, joking aside, we don't like to upset any member of our audience, no matter how mad they might be, okay? So we undertake never to destroy another Morris Marina as long as we are on the air. And in fact, we've gone one better than that, because just this week we have been out and we have bought another marina, okay? And it's a beauty. Really is, absolutely. Low mileage, leather seat. No, there's no woo about it, leather seats. We brought it down, we've got it here. Look, this is live feed out to our track, and that is going to be preserved as an example of what... Oh, God!
Oh, man. These are all big FUs to the complainers, man. I really like this.
How unlucky was that?
This is happening all the time. It's always happening at our track. It rains pianos here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Actually, there's been a lot of internet activity on the Morris chat room. I'm going to send an email to the BBC, and I don't care if they don't read it.
Now, that's what they said last time, OK? This time, getting worse. They said they're going to get physical. I'm quoting now. One of them says, and I'm not making this up, "If I see Jeremy Clarkson in the street, I will poo into my hand and throw it at him."
Well, they'll pull into their own house. It's a stupid way of getting someone. It's like an assassin lining up on the target and shooting them through his own head. Bang! It's revolting.
Oh, yes. Every week, the Daily Mirror runs a story saying that we've done something unspeakable. You know, we've stolen all the army's helicopters, or we've accidentally clubbed an old lady to death with a baby seal. This week, OK, the story they chose to run with was this. OK, here it is. Big story saying that homosexuals are banned from the Top Gear studio audience. Now,
What?
seriously, honestly, I've never read such rubbish in my life, ever.
Now, it is true that there are splits of men and women in the audience. Otherwise, it's a little bit like the early days when we only got the Subaru Owners Club, and that's a bit grisly. But we do not actually insist that you sleep with the person you come to the studio with.
No, I mean, often, you know, mums come down with their sons, and we're not suggesting that, you know...
Oh, my God.
Exactly. The truth is, we welcome homosexual couples here.
We do.
We particularly like the lesbian sort.
Oh, God.
How many people here enjoyed the ambulance?
Oh, that was good. Oh. I was not expecting that little bit there. That was really good.
Film we did last week. Okay, you see, the problem we have is that we've had an electronic communication from a man called Mr. E36 Man 4000, who says, "Dear so-called Top Gear, I hated your thing on ambulances. Why don't you stick to cars?" Shall we show Mr. what's he called, Mr. Hashtag, shall we show him what this show would be like if we just talked about cars?
Yeah, all right. Okay,
Let's do it.
give it a shot.
I'll tell you what I drove this week. Volkswagen Passat diesel.
Did you?
Surprisingly comfortable. I also drove an Audi TT, which is much nicer than you'd think.
Actually, I've been driving the new Porsche 911 Turbo, which is very fast, but surprisingly quiet.
Is it?
Aston Martin have built a new one-off for a Bond film. It's called the DB10.
Yeah.
I don't think much of that, actually.
I don't like the way it looks.
No, I don't.
No, I do.
Okay.
Vauxhall has a new private Corsa. I got nothing on that.
Shall we give up on car news?
That's really cool. Seeing a very popular TV show. Whoops, sorry. Seeing a very popular TV show just stick it to the whingers. It's a beautiful thing to see, I must say. And it wasn't like overly funny, but it was just it was more great than funny for me to see that, because that's something that it would be very hard to get away with something like that today. Even though they're not being really offensive, it's just, how dare you talk back to, the people who are complaining. They have a right to complain. Well, they have a right to make fun of you for complaining about ridiculous things, too. I would totally agree with that. Because it came out of my own mouth, and I'm a Muppet. But yeah, I like that. I do want to do more Top Gear reactions, but like some of the challenges or things like that. But if you have more Top Gear suggestions, throw them in the comments, because I'm starting to get into these three guys in the old school show. I know they're no longer on the program, but they got their own program on Amazon now, which I'm probably going to check out soon. Even though because I don't watch much television, I'm very late to the game with these three. So, anyway, I hope you like that. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want. I'm King Boomer. This is King Boomer's channel, and you guys have a great day, and trying really hard not to offend anybody, because it's actually, go for it. I'm lying. Go for it. You guys have a great day. See you next time.